Hey Scrapper Names fans, welcome back to an art journal video for you today. So working on a bit of an old new page in my art journal. Feels like forever since I have worked in this. So I have these 3 hearts, geometric hearts, which were put in there. I think they're actually Distress Oxide ink hearts. Then recently I have those texture paste stars over the top. And now I've decided that I'm going to get some Dilutions paint there, and I am going to paint around the edges of them because, I mean, why not? I actually think I may have been a little bit inspired after watching a bit of Inky Quill. So God knows where this might go. I don't know. Art journaling is a bit of a trial and error thing with me. So I kind of just think I know what I'm doing. No, actually, no, bleh, tongue-tied. I know I have no idea what I'm doing, so I just kind of wing it. So here we go. So I'm just playing around. I've painted around all the hearts and the stars, and I'm sort of splotching some paint around the edges of the stars in the middle, basically trying to get rid of the white space kind of thing happening. Now that white circular piece that you can see there is an Inky Quill printable from her Patreon. If you pay for her Patreon, you know what I'm talking about. If not, all good. And I've pulled out some scraps and basically anything randomly sitting on my my desk or lying around potentially anywhere on my trolley that sits next to my desk. So that's what these pieces are. So I am going to use some gel medium. Is that what I'm doing here? Which I probably should have blasted the paint with my heat gun and I didn't. So, oops. The paint wasn't quite as dry as I thought it was, and it's kind of smeared a little bit of pink, but you know what? It's an art journal and I'll live. So I'm going to smush it up a little bit, potentially making it worse, but what can you do? It's all for me anyway. You live and you learn. So I am still a bit OCD when it comes to my art journal. I'm trying not to be, but it's a bit hard to break. But anyway, so in that sense, I'm kind of balancing out. Like I've got half a doily at the bottom, and I didn't cut these. Well, maybe they are the same doily. They're just... These were already in my stash, just lying around half-half, so they've obviously been used at one stage. You know, it's mated somewhere in my scrapbook stash somewhere, or in my books. So yeah, I've used your matte gel medium to stick that down, to adhere those to the page. And now I'm just fussy cutting out a lone butterfly. Now these would be from the Crepe Paper Flourish, Willow Lane, that would be what it's from. Collection recently got in the Kitaholic kits back a few months ago, so that would have been just kicking about on my trolley, I'd say. And again, so it's cardstock, so it's quite a thicker sort of material. So I am just going to stick that down again. And that's all I'm using, matte gel medium, throughout this to adhere everything down. Now I was really careful with this because I didn't actually think very clearly when I wrote my quote on this this printable here. I didn't think to check that the pen was whether or not it was water soluble. So I didn't think to see whether or not it would smudge, and it does because I got a little bit of the gel medium on it. And it did smear a little bit, so I was conscious of that. So note to self and note to you, make sure you check if you're going to use gel medium. If you know your pen or other inky kind of product will smear if it comes into contact with a wet medium. So I had to be really careful, and I didn't know what it would do when I put the gel medium underneath and then stuck the paper over the top. I didn't know what it would do to the thing, but obviously to the ink, so it didn't like bleed through or anything like that. It was just when it came into contact with the brush and the ink, the brush sort of smeared a little bit there. Oh, and I popped that little frame that had been lying around in my stash forever, and I knew I was never really going to use it. I'm not a frames person. I don't seem to use a lot of frames in my scrapbooking. So I thought, meh, it was in the way. I'm just going to use it in here. So I cut it in half and chucked it on either side of that. Why not? Again, these are some art prints from Inky Quill's Patreon printables, and I have just done, basically copied what she does sometimes with her printables, and that is print them on sticker paper and just using them like little mini stickers. So I don't think I use gel medium to stick them down, but I think I do go over some here on the texture paste because they don't seem to sit well on the texture paste. Look, they don't seem to sit where it's bumpy, so I had to sort of get in and try and get them to stick down. Yeah, it was a bit tricky. So I kind of, to be truthful, created this page. I was feeling a bit of a lull. I needed a bit of inspiration, motivation, just needed to get the feelings out kind of thing. So recently, if you've been following me and my videos, you would know that I had major surgery 6 weeks ago this week, actually. And the recovery took a bit longer than I thought it would, and it was a lot harder than I thought it would be. I'm not the most patient person. So when I created this page, which was actually a few weeks ago, or probably a week or two ago, I just wanted it to be done, and I wanted to be able to get up and move and drive and get back to work and those sorts of things and be partially better than what I was. And I just wasn't getting where I wanted to be, but I was somewhere. So I just needed to remember that it didn't matter how fast I was going, I was moving forward. It was just not quite the way I'd envisioned. So that was kind of where this quote came from, which I just found on Pinterest, basically. So yeah, that's always a good way to use your art journal, is a good way to, it's a bit like a Dear Diary almost, but in a crafty way. Just letting those thoughts and things out through paint and doodling around and, arty ways, experimenting with art and, but at the same time, letting your emotions fly, I guess. And at the same time, you can add a quote, grab a good quote off Pinterest or something you might know yourself, or just some words you want to write, and there you go. You've got yourself your own little page, because no one else potentially will look at this except you. And obviously you guys who are watching this in my case. So these are just some Tim Holtz, I think they're Ideology, whatever they're called, stickers. Exactly which set, I'm not sure. I can probably tell you if you really want to know. A bit of an oddball kind of ones, but they're a bit inspirational too, I realise. So they kind of fit here very well. Just filling in some colours, some gaps, and just adding some other pops of colour to contrast against some of the other more bolder blue colours and things. There is some of these Flutterby hearts. And I thought, do I add the splatters? I actually don't think I add splatters. I actually think I end up adding a blue border, which is really random because it's an art journal page. I don't think I end up adding the splatters. I think I changed my mind. Yeah, I do. There you go. I do change my mind. I went to go and add splatters, and then I was like, nah, changed my mind. I'm going to draw a doodly border, which is really odd for a journal page, I think. Anyway, I don't seem to ever see anyone do that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I don't know why. I just felt it needed a bit of reining in a little bit. What else am I doing with my Posca paint pen there? Am I doing some little doodly bits? I am too. And it's really funny. I have a little quote board at work at the moment, and I've been writing quotes every now and again for my staff, and I draw little doodly bits on it too this week because, why not? Fills in the gaps and it looks pretty. And I think my art journal page is just about done. Oh, I do add splatters, I think. I had gold splatters. There you go. So I think, though, I'm just about done. So I think I give you some close-ups at the end. Feel free to like and subscribe. And if you've got any questions as well, just leave them in the comments and I will get back to you with those. But yeah, I do hope you enjoyed this art journal page. Gave you a bit of inspiration to go and get a bit messy and a bit painty. Yeah. But I think that's it. I don't think I do anything else. Yeah, that's it. All done. Thanks for watching. Bye.